Untouched No More. Previous episodes are available on playlist, a link is given in the video description. Episode 2. Chapter 10. Rosie is in the locker room when I enter, and I freeze, worried that I'm going to get an earful. But I don't. She doesn't look happy exactly, but not angry either. You and Mr. Andrews. Yeah. I can see why. I had a crush on him when I first started too, she laughs. Never did that, though. I make my way to my locker and grab my stuff, not exactly sure what to say. Luckily, she's the one who leaves first. Good luck. Thanks. Is that it? If that's the only reaction I'm going to get, then I've been worrying a lot for nothing. I pull out my phone and text him. I've changed my mind. Want to go on that date? Hint, I have the night off tomorrow. I'm almost to my car when the response comes through. Tomorrow night it is. 7 o'clock. I'll pick you up. And a few seconds later. Wear something XE. I roll my eyes. As if I wore anything else. I can almost hear him laugh. That's my girl. My doorbell rings at exactly 7. I guess punctuality is another thing to add to my growing list that I've never noticed before. But then again, you don't have to be punctual at a club that you own. Opening the door to my apartment, I feel my jaw drop. I've seen Cole in button-downs and suit pants, but never an actual suit, and the effect is, wow! It's perfectly tailored, emphasizing his height and the width of his shoulders. He looks like he stepped out of the pages of a men's fashion magazine, and it's making my mouth water. Hi, I say, more than a little breathless. Hello. His eyes travel up and down my body, and I blush. I pulled out all the stops tonight, digging out a little black dress that I haven't worn in years. It's a little tight in the bust and hips, but I'm wearing it anyway because I know that Cole will like it more because of that. You look beautiful. I step aside to let him in, and he comes face to face with Brownie. Hey girl, he says, crouching down to her level. I've heard a lot about you. She's pretty much back to her usual self, though I still see her stepping gingerly from time to time. Brownie has always been wary of strangers, especially men. I rescued her when she was a puppy after she'd had some bad experiences. So I nearly pass out on the floor when she immediately wags her tail and comes over to him, jumping up on his shoulders to sniff and lick his face. Cole laughs, patting the top of her head, telling her she's a good girl, and Brownie loves every second of it. He'd told me he was a dog person, but seeing it is different. I've always thought that you can tell a lot by the way a person treats animals, and the kindness Cole is showing Brownie right now is speaking volumes. I'd love to stay and hang out with you, but if I do, we'll miss our reservation. Where is our reservation? I ask, grabbing my keys and giving Brownie a final scratch on the head. Cole grins. Italian. The restaurant is gorgeous with a great view of the skyline. There's a table waiting for us on the balcony. The evening sun warms my shoulders, and I'm glad that we decided to do this. It feels strange, though, everything is so bright, so normal. I'm used to seeing him in the vivid colors and shadows of Club Deep. Seeing him in this kind of light is different. I like it. We order, the waitress bringing us a bottle of wine at Cole's request. Okay, I say. Now that we're out of the club, you have to tell me the story. What story? I laugh. The one about how you came to own a club. A wildly popular one, too. It's really not that interesting. He takes a sip of his wine. I still want to know, though. He tilts his head, thinking. Well, Julian, Hudson, and we met while we were all in college. But we didn't meet at college. By random chance we ended up at a play party. I'm grateful for that now, because we were so young and had no business really being there. But the ratio of the party was terrible. We ended up talking and drinking the whole night. Left the party and went for pizza. Pizza is sometimes better than X, I interject. Cole raises an eyebrow and I clear my throat. I mean, not with you, but with some people. I'm going to come up with games comparing X to pizza now. You know that, right? I toast him with my wine glass. Naturally. You were saying. We went out and talked. And a lot of what we talked about was the party, how it hadn't been handled well. How we hadn't found any parties or clubs that seemed perfect. A lot of them were too specific, too much into one kink. The three of us are all different, but we wanted a place where we could all fit in and have what we wanted. So we just kind of hatched this idea of the perfect club, where anyone could come, no matter the kink. Within reason. It was a joke at the time, but we became friends. And when we all graduated, we decided that we were going to work towards that goal. We spent a couple of years looking at other clubs to see what worked and what didn't before taking the plunge. Why here? Vacationers, he says. We found that people are more likely to seek out something different when they're on vacation, and Phoenix is a huge tourist destination. So we always have new faces along with the regulars. I nod. Smart. Thanks. Those clients I served the first night. Who were they? I didn't realize a club like this could have clients. Cole's face darkens immediately, and I wonder if I stumbled on something that I shouldn't have. They were potential investors. He sighs, his shoulders falling. I guess my story wasn't totally complete. There were 4 of us. But last year, his jaw tightens. Last year we found out our 4th partner had been embezzling from us. Making the books look like we were profitable, and actually taking all of the money. A pit forms in my stomach. I'm so sorry. He shrugs like it's nothing, but I can tell it hurts him more than he's letting on. He disappeared with the money. The club does well, and day to day we operate in the black, but he left us with some huge debts and holes in our safety net. Bringing in new investors would help, but those men you met, I don't like them. Neither do the others. We won't be inviting them to buy in. I nod, a little relieved. I didn't like the vibe that came from them either, and I'm not a fan of anyone who grabs women because they feel like they can. Anyway, Cole says, smiling. You owe me your story now. I win CE. Which one? The story of how you came to look for a job in my club. Oh, I say. That one. It's not a fun story. He echoes my words. I still want to know, though. The sigh that works its way out of me is all too familiar. It's what happens whenever I think about my old job. I'll keep it simple. I worked in marketing. I had a job as an assistant at a company that I really loved. The person I was working for was one of the best people all over the country. Love her work. Unfortunately, being great at your job and being a good boss aren't the same. Cole grimaces like he can see where this is going. I tried. I really did. But it seemed like nothing that I did was ever good enough, or perfect enough. She was too controlling. In the end she fired me. I reach for my glass of wine and take a large sip. I'm sorry, Cole says softly. I wave a hand. It's really fine. I was having panic attacks almost every day from the stress. I haven't had one since I stopped working for her. Plus, I wink at him, I'm very happy in my new job. Good to hear. I also hope that you think that the three of us are good bosses. Don't worry. You guys are great. My smile is nothing but genuine. While we eat, we fall back into that friendly banter that rules our interactions at the club, and I think we're both glad to be on familiar territory. The food is delicious, and the only downside to this stress is that I can't eat as much as I want to. I don't think I could eat another thing. Maybe later. Maybe. Good, he says. Because I have dessert at my place. I make a face of mock horror. Going back to your place on the first date? Mr. Andrews, you're very scandalous. So is that dress. I nod, giving him the point and finish the last of my wine. Okay. I'll come to your place, but no promises about dessert because I'm already bursting. He chuckles. Fair enough. Cole's apartment is everything that I imagined it would be. In a sleek high-rise downtown, it has the minimalist, masculine feel of a bachelor pad, along with million-dollar views and expensive furnishings. The living room is warm and open, golden wood and deep colors. There's a fireplace that I bet would be amazing during the cooler winter nights, and a few chairs I can imagine curling up in with a book. I could live in a place like this. I can even imagine Brownie here. Make yourself at home, Cole says, shedding his suit jacket. I kick off my shoes. They're the highest heels I own, and it's a miracle that I hadn't already chucked them in the garbage at the restaurant. Those are hot, Cole says. And I imagine they hurt too. You have no idea. He tugs me onto the couch and pulls my feet into his lap. Luckily, I'm very good at this. Digging his thumb into the ball of my foot, Cole massages the pain away. It feels good and terrible at the same time. I groan. You are good at that. Just think, you could be eating pie while I do this. Nope, I pat my stomach. Still too full of pasta to even think about eating anything. But I'm glad there's pie for later. It'll be a good midnight snack. There's a sparkle in his eye. Will you still be here at midnight? I don't know. Will I? He smirks. I guess I'll have to see. The way he's rubbing my feet suddenly changes. It's no longer meant to relax. It's meant to arouse. I smile coyly at him, a thought I had the other day popping back into my head. Speaking of dessert. There's something that I want a taste of. I crawl across the couch to him, covering his lips with mine. Our tongues dance and I let my body slide down his, fitting myself between his knees. Cole's hand finds its way into my hair, and I know that's a good sign. His breathing is shallow and quick, eyes closed and jaw clenched. So I finish him. I wasn't lying when I said I wanted to taste him. There's something about tasting another person you know exactly who they are. And to do it here, in his home, it feels like something far more significant. Intimate. We're not surrounded by people. There's nothing to hide behind. It's just us, and it feels like something is blurring between us. We're no longer two people playing in a specific space. Those lines are fuzzy now. Blended. We're together. What am I going to do with you? I could think of a few things. The minute the words are out of my mouth, he's carrying me down. No games tonight, he says. Just us. There's something urgent in his voice, and I feel that same urgency deep in me. We need this, we need to see what it's like when we're not pretending. I realize that I haven't taken the time to touch him nearly enough. I want to touch every inch of him. Memorize the shape of him with my hands until I know it blindfolded. I touch the tattoo on his ribs that I first saw when we played in the desert room. Flowering vines that curve around his body, twisting like a living thing. It's beautiful, and I want to ask him about it later. We stay that way for a while, kissing, touching, learning. There's a heavy feeling in my chest, and I try to push it away, but I can't. It's there. I don't think it's going to go away either. Cole rolls away from me, reaching for the nightstand, and I know he's getting a protection. I stop him. We're not in the club. I'm clean and I'm on the pill. He looks at me, eyes wide. I'm clean too, but are you sure? Yes, I say, and I am. More than anything. Let me feel you. I can feel every inch of him, I know he can feel it too. Cole presses his forehead to mine. Suddenly Cole pulls me up, pulls me into his lap, and I don't know why, but being joined this way feels 10 times closer. He wraps his arms around me, and I love how close he's to me, love how he's looking at me like I'm the whole world. Love I let my head fall onto his shoulder, and Cole pauses, breath on my skin. Are you all right? The words tumble out of me. I think I'm in love with you. I feel his body go stiff, and I prepare myself for the inevitable. I shouldn't have said that. It's too soon, we don't know each other well enough. He's going to say that it's nice, but he doesn't feel that way. Uncharacteristic tears gather in my eyes. I'm not sure what's going on, I didn't expect this. Cole tugs on my hair, bringing my face back far enough that he can see it. His face is so serious, and he's looking at me in that way where I can see he's looking for something and I don't know what. After a few seconds that feel like eternity, he says, "Me too." What? The corner of his mouth tugs up into that maddening little smile. Me too. I'm in love with you, too. I suddenly feel like I can't breathe, that heavy feeling in my chest from earlier filling me up, like I can't contain it. A few tears escape my eyes, and he reaches to brush them away, and then I'm laughing. And then I'm not laughing, because Cole moves his hips, reminding me of what position we're in. It's like this admission has opened up something in both of us, making us let go. Streaks of pleasure rush across my skin, and I feel like I'm a firework all lit up. so close to exploding. He kisses me, holding me to him like he's never going to let go, and right now I hope that he doesn't. I can't help the moaning I'm doing behind our kisses. He's so deep inside of me that he's hitting entirely new places, entirely new sensations. Our lips break apart because we both need the breath, gasping for it, but he doesn't stop. Come with me, Cole says, and I do. We collapse together. I love you, he says. I love you. It feels weird and great and amazing to say it back. Our hands find each other, fingers tangling, and I smile at him. Now, I could go for some pie. I'm still floating on a cloud the next day when I get to work. Everything in the world seems perfect. Brownie is back to her normal self, the weather is gorgeous, and Cole Andrews told me that he loves me. I can't wait to see what he has planned for us tonight after my shift, and if he doesn't have anything planned I'll plan something, because you can be sure we're having fun. I walk in the door and one of the security guards is waiting for me. Andrea Townsend. Yeah. You're wanted in the office, he says, turning and going through a door near the club entrance that I've never seen used. Follow me. Okay, maybe we're not having fun. Tonight, maybe we're having fun. Right now. I smile to myself. Why else would Cole call me to the office? I'll have to tease him about special treatment. The security guard leads me down a couple hallways and then knocks on a door. I hear Cole's voice inside telling us to come in, and he pushes the door open. I walk in with a huge smile on my face, ready to say something utterly dirty, and I freeze. Cole isn't alone. Rosie is also in the office. She's got her arms crossed and she's glaring at me. And Cole. I've never seen that look on his face before. It's halfway between agony and anger. It's cold. What's going on? I see his jaw tighten, and he doesn't look at me when he speaks. He's looking away, towards the wall. Why won't he look at me? There has been an accusation. My eyebrows shoot up to my hairline. Excuse me. His hands are gripping the arms of the chair, like he's keeping himself in check. According to Rosie, there was money taken from the safe. The code used to retrieve the money was your personal code. I've confirmed it. He looks at me then, and it's like a blow to the stomach, all anger and ice. He can't be serious. Of course I didn't do that. I would never do that. The records say otherwise. Rosie says, disgust in her voice. I warned you your first day that there were personal codes for a reason. This is why. I shake my head. I don't understand what's happening. Why would I do that? I like my job, it pays well, I'm happy here. I look at Cole again, you know that. Why would I steal money? Maybe the same reason you're sleeping with him. You just can't get enough, and you feel like you can get away with anything. That's none of your business, I say. And it has nothing to do with this. So there is a this. Rose yells, you're admitting to it. Of course not, my voice rises to match hers. I'm not a thief. I don't steal. You know, I liked you. Everyone did. You were really starting to feel like part of the Club Deep family. But I don't even know what to think of a person who would do this. I didn't do anything. Yes, You did. Enough. Cole's voice cuts across ours and leaves the office in complete silence. I've never seen him yell. I've never seen him raise his voice or even be the slightest bit angry. The code used to empty the safe was yours, Andrea. I need you to leave the club property immediately. What? You need to leave. No. He can't be firing me. I can't get fired from a second job, especially for something that I didn't do. Cole, I had nothing to do with this. You have to believe me. I want to. But no one, he says, meeting my eyes. He looks broken. No matter who they are, steals from me without paying a price. I didn't steal from you. He looks away. Goodbye, Andrea. There's a ringing in my ears, and pain in my chest, and I barely realize I'm walking out of the office. What just happened? Everything was so perfect a few minutes ago and now I don't even know what to do or say or think. After everything, how could he believe that? How could he believe that I would take money from him? Footsteps sound behind me and I turn to find Rosie following me. I need to make sure you leave the club, she says. We'll mail you your final paycheck. This is insane. No, it's not, she scoffs. I've seen girls like you 100 times. People who think that they're better than they are. Who think they can just have everything they want while screwing everyone else. Well, good riddance to you. She puts her hand on my shoulder, pushing me towards the exit. And sleeping with the boss? How pathetic can you be? You think he was actually interested? You think you can just show up and claim him while those of us who have been here way longer never even had a chance? Think again. You were just someone to having fun. She's into Cole. That's why she's saying all these things. She thinks that with me gone that she's going to have him. I don't have anything to stop her from doing that. Rosie. I knew something was up when I saw you together. I should have known, and then the money went missing last night. I wasn't even surprised when it was your code. Last night? Last night? I shove around Rosie, and sprint back to Cole's office. I shove open the door, and he spins around, his face is a portrait in misery. It's there only for a second before it's gone and replaced by anger. You should have left, he says. I didn't want to have security throw you out. When was the safe robbed? He picks up the phone to call security and I push his hand back down. When? Last night. I laugh, though it's not remotely funny. I would have thought that last night was memorable enough that you would know I couldn't possibly have stolen money from the safe last night. What? Rosie's voice comes from the door. Where were you? I turn and glare at her. I was in his bed. I know that image doesn't play well for you because of your obsessive little crush, but it's still true. I look back to Cole. I didn't do this. His eyes are now fixed on Rosie. Who else knew Andrea's code? It's in the employee files. Any supervisor could have looked it up. Cole pulls a binder off a shelf, flipping through some papers. And you were the only supervisor on duty last night when the money disappeared. Rosie's mouth falls open. No, it wasn't not me. Did you frame Andrea to get her fired? Steal from me? She looks trapped, and there's a split second where I feel bad for her. But after what she's done, a second is all she gets. I fling her own words back at her. I don't even know what to think of a person who would do this. I didn't. She keeps shaking her head like she doesn't understand. Where's the money? She wilts, like every last speck of energy pours out of her. In my locker. Get out. Cole says, voice made of steel. Your things will be sent to you. If you ever set foot in this club again, I will press charges. She swallows, looking back and forth between us. It looks like she wants to say something, but she doesn't. She just goes. Cole calls security to make sure she leaves. And then we're alone, and the tension is still in the air. Cole grabs me and pushes me against the wall. His lips are hard on mine, desperate. I push him back. What was that? I ask him, you really think I could steal from you? No, he says, voice full of emotion. Never. But there was proof. I couldn't. There can't be any exceptions. We really need to work on you knowing when you're allowed to break rules. He presses his forehead to mine. I'm sorry. I was caught up in my own shit. After everything that happened last year, stealing it's a thing for me. I promise that I'll tell you why. It makes me lose any common sense. I should have remembered. I move away from him, across the office. I need distance from him right now. I can't think when he's so close to me, crowding my senses, dragging me into perfect oblivion with his kisses. Do you have any idea how that feels? That you say that you love me and then to throw me out without a second thought? You weren't even going to try to listen to my side of the story. I know, he says. I take a deep breath, flexing my hands in and out of fists, trying to deal with the wealth of anger that's building up inside of me. In the moment I was panicked, and now I'm pissed. This is not a small thing. Cole takes a slow, even breath. I know. Are you going to say anything other than you're sorry? That I'm a raging moron, and I never should have let something like this get in my head. I should not have jumped to conclusions so quickly. I should never have asked you to leave. I nod. Well, I'm still going to. I know you're not asking now, but I think I need some time. Andrea, please, he says, taking a step towards me. Please don't go. Give me a good reason to stay. He swallows, and I know from the look on his face that he understands that the next words out of his mouth will determine our relationship. There's a lot we don't know about each other. History, the little details about our pasts that formed us. But I can tell you now, that I have never in my life met anyone like you. No one has ever made me feel like this, alive and whole and happy. I swear that I will do everything in my power never to hurt you again. My breath stills in my chest, his words resonating deep within me. He makes me happy too. I choose my words carefully, emphasizing every one. No matter what it is, you will never take your shit out on me again. Got it? You will always take the time to look at the whole picture before making a decision. If you can't agree to that, I'm done. I swear. I've barely finished speaking before he's agreed. And you still love me? I ask. I never stopped loving you. Heat roars through my body, and even though I'm still pissed at him, I want him. I want his hands on me. I want the proof of his words. Good *me. I don't have to tell him twice. He spreads me out on his desk, and we're clawing at each other. It's not gentle. We're both still angry. I rake my nails down his back over his shirt, and he grunts at the sensation. Last night it felt like we were giving ourselves to the other. This feels more like claiming. He's mine, I'm his and he's mine. The quakes in my body slowly fade, and I find Cole leaning over me, eyes intense. You know, you did steal something from me. Oh? What was that? You stole my heart. I laugh, and it feels good. The laughter erases the anger and the hurt. You know that's unbearably cheesy, right? I do. Good, I pull him down to kiss me. So what's the price for that? My heart. I nod. It's a big one, but the only one I can think of that's fair. Tell me, I say, smiling. He's smiling too. Marry me. Where did you hear about this place again? I ask my best friend as we pull into the parking lot of Club Deep. It doesn't look like a club. It just looks like a building. Possibly an abandoned one. But maybe that's the point? I don't know. Cassette shrugs as she puts the car in park. I just heard some people talking about it the other day. At another club. At another club. I stifle the sigh that's aching to come out of me. Cassette is a party girl. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I worry when she goes out without me. I've had one too many drunken phone calls asking for a rescue. So my expectations for this club are low. It's probably not even really a club, just some indie place that's trying to get started and will disappear off the map as quickly as it appeared. But really it doesn't matter. Cassette isn't just my best friend, she's basically all I have left. She's been family for longer than I can remember, and it's felt like more than that since my parents died. If she wants me to go with her to a club, I'm going to go. Cassette is taking her time, fixing her makeup. Even longer than normal. Are you meeting someone I don't know about? No, she says way too quickly. I fight to keep from rolling my eyes. I love her, and I will go to as many clubs as she wants, but I'm just about over getting there and being dumped for some guy she's actually meeting. I'm really not meeting anyone, Libby. Let's go. Autumn coolness is just now starting to set in, and I rub my arms, wishing I had worn something a little warmer. These pants are skin-tight and thin, and the shirt reveals my stomach. I was going for, but I think I should have opted for warmth. I just hope the temperature is better inside. A security guard checks our IDs, and Cassette hands him a piece of paper. Did we have to have tickets to get in here? Downstairs at the main bar, he tells her. The entrance is dark, but already I can hear thumping bass coming from down the stairs. Swirling lights curl up the steps to meet us, and the sounds of a crowd filter to us through the music. A loud cheer goes up just as I step onto the main floor, and my jaw drops. The club is way bigger than I thought, multiple levels and balconies obvious as I look up. 3 bars circle the main dance floor, which is packed with people. Cages are stationed around and hang just above the dance floor, each with its own dancer. But all of that isn't what makes my jaw drop. It's what's along the outer edges of the club. In areas lit up with spotlights, people are having sex. Like, actual. And not just that, kinky. The kind you only read about in bed under the covers where absolutely no one can see you. Every pairing that I can think of. A man is kneeling before a woman with her hands bound above her head, and I can see his tongue thrusting into her. A pair of men hold a woman between them and they're both inside her at the same time. Heat runs through me, and I keep my eyes moving. Things I never thought I'd see in real life are here: someone being flogged and looking like they love it, a screaming woman as her partner uses a vibrator on her. Blood rushes to my cheeks and I look away from a woman who's bent over a bench and being pounded into from behind. Cassette grabs my hand and starts to pull me across the dance floor. I pull her back. This is AX Club. Good observation, Sherlock, she smirks at me. Did you know? She just nods, pulling me along with her again. I'm too stunned to protest. Why didn't you tell me? We reach the biggest of the 3 bars and she gives me a look I know all too well. Because, Libby, if you had known, you wouldn't have come. I might have, I say defensively. But we both know she's right. On any given day I would rather be at home than at a club, and knowing this was AX Club would have given me the perfect ammunition to bow out. I sigh. Okay, fine. But I'm here now. Even though I don't understand why. Cassette suddenly looks away, fidgeting like she's nervous. Then she takes a breath and points behind me. At the end of the bar there's a high stage with dancers, and a sign: dancer auditions here. Everything clicks. The paper she handed to the bouncer. Downstairs at the main bar. Cassette is going to audition. I turn back to her. You're serious? It's good money, Libby, and you know I need it. I know it's AX Club, but I'll just be dancing. I'm sorry I didn't tell you, but I was too nervous to come by myself. I bite my lip. I can't argue with the fact that she needs the money. We both do. I have a job, but Libby has been struggling to find work, and neither of us have ever been able to find jobs as dancers, despite trying. Not a lot of those available in Phoenix. My parents weren't rich, and they didn't leave me much. Most of that is gone from just trying to survive. Taking a deep breath, I push down my embarrassment about the whole thing. It's my deal. Well, then, you better do a good audition. The relief on her face is almost painful. Did she really think I'd stop her from getting a job? Or not be supportive of her? After everything we've been through together, she should know better than that. She heads over to where the sign is posted, where a man with a clipboard is standing. He takes her paper and smiles, the kind of generic smile you give someone when you've smiled too much for one day and are exhausted. I can only imagine what it would be like to run auditions in a club like this. I move down to the end of the bar so I can watch her. This isn't exactly our kind of dancing. Cassette and I met in ballet classes when we were really young. But this can't be that hard. The music has a beat so strong that it practically does all of the work for you. Cassette replaces a dancer on the stage as the song changes, and she starts to move. Her movements are smooth. A little slower than the tempo of the song, but she looks good. That's when I hear it. The man with the clipboard is yelling, "That's not enough if you want the job." I see Cassette falter for a second, but she gets it back, until he opens his mouth again. You're the last dancer of the day, sweetheart. You need to show me something amazing for me to want you. Are you serious? Who does this guy think he is? All he's doing is getting in her head, and I can see it. Her movements are becoming more awkward. She's second-guessing herself. We've been dancing together almost since we could walk, and she's going to remember that. I stride past the clipboard and lift myself onto the stage. Cassette opens her mouth, and I know that she's going to ask me what I'm doing, but I don't give her the chance. Let's dance. Show that him what we've got. I throw myself into the dance without hesitation, letting the music move me with it, just like Cassette and I used to do when we would take over the dance studio we attended and just dance for fun. Dance like it doesn't matter, like there's nothing but you and the music. We dance separately and then we dance together before moving apart again, and for a moment it's just this. It's like nothing bad has ever happened and we're two girls in a basement choreographing dances to our favorite songs. But when I look out into the club, I can't pretend that there's nobody watching. Actually, a lot of people are watching. Something old and buried comes roaring to the surface, and I stop dancing and start performing. A small cheer goes up from the people watching, and I glance over at Cassette to find her smiling, dancing better than ever. Who would have thought that I would have this kind of fun at AX Club? But it is fun. More fun than I've had in a long time. I've always loved having an audience, and now is no exception. I feel eyes on me, and this is different than the crowd. A man is standing in crowd, towering over the people around him, and our eyes lock. They're a pale crystal blue that I can see even from here, and they make me shiver. Totally in contrast with the way that smirk on his face makes me feel like I'm on fire. His eyes roam down my body and I let mine do the same, button-down shirt, sleeves rolled up to his elbows, and forearms that are rock hard. His shirt is tight, and it doesn't do anything to hide the fact that he's built. He has a face that's all angles, gorgeous in a severe way, like almost too perfect to be believed. My body heats up again, and my dancing changes with it, becoming slower, more sensual. Guys who are that good looking aren't usually my thing. In the past I've gone for guys who look a little more rough around the edges and seemed like they've lived some life. But, for this man I'll make an exception. He makes his way through the crowd, never taking his eyes off me. He stops next to clipboard guy who stopped his yelling at the both of us and speaks to him quietly. Clipboard guy simply writes down something on the clipboard, nodding. Then the hot guy disappears into the crowd, 1 second there and the next, gone. I can't believe I lost him, considering how tall he is. Oh well, that was never going to happen anyway. Story of my life. I let the music filter back into my ears, grabbing Cassette's hand again and letting myself be free. Hey! Hey! You can stop now. I look down at the base of the stage to see the clipboard guy making an annoyed face at us. The song is over. I'd been having so much fun that I hadn't even noticed the music change. I grin at Cassette as we slide down. I haven't had that much fun in forever. Clipboard guy rolls his eyes, then looks at Cassette. Congratulations, you got the job, and then he looks at me. You too? Oh, no, I shake my head. I wasn't auditioning. He shrugs. My boss liked you, so you're in if you want to be. He hands us each a piece of paper. I'm Randall, I handle the club talent. Everyone else has gotten a head start on the paperwork, so if you want to come with me, we'll get you started and give you a tour of the club. Cassette holds her hand up for a high five. Good job. It'll be fun, working together. Something in her tone makes me think that she doesn't really think that, and that's okay. I already have a job that pays my bills even if just barely. This was fun, but dancing in AX club? Don't worry, babe. I've got a job. Go fill out the paperwork, I'll hang out until you're done. I swear that Randall rolls his eyes again, but Cassette looks relieved. Okay. I'll find you when I'm finished. Randall is already moving towards the back of the club and Cassette has to sprint to keep up. Once she disappears, I realize just how thirsty all the dancing has made me. I head back to the bar to get a drink, but I don't make it all the way there. A hand grabs mine, stopping me in place, and a deep voice says, I can give you a tour anyway, even if you don't want the job. I turn and have to look up. If it's possible, he's hotter up close, and the way he's looking at me does sinful things to my body, the kind of things that I read about and always wished would be true. Which is what is making me think that this is all a dream. Go on a tour of AX Club with a total stranger. I give him a smirk. If I'm going to do that, I think I should at least know your name. He smiles, bowing in a mock salute, Julian Rivers. Welcome to my club. Your club? You own this place? With 2 friends, yes. I had assumed he saw the audition sign and overheard that I wasn't taking the job, but now, you're the one who told Randall to offer me the job. You don't miss anything, do you? He laughs. Yeah, I am. You were a natural up there. He takes a step closer. I liked the way you danced while I was looking at you. You touched yourself like you wished someone else was doing it. His hand is still holding mine, his thumb stroking along my skin and emphasizing his words. He isn't wrong. God, this is crazy. Cassette is the one who goes to clubs and picks up guys. Not me. I'm the girl who prefers romance novels to the real thing because nothing will ever measure up. I'm the girl who drinks tea and stays in watching TV. I don't flirt with hot strangers in X clubs. But just for tonight, maybe I can. He's still talking, voice sweeping across my skin like honey. It's smooth and strong, just the way I imagine he'd be in other situations. You move like the music is a part of you. I tried to be a dancer for a while, I admit, but I was never good enough to make it as a professional. Whoever told you that is flat out wrong. I raise an eyebrow. In that case, you can buy me a drink. It's always nice to have a fan. Fan isn't really what I'd call myself, I was thinking more of a groupie. You mean the people who follow celebrities around and try to sleep with? I freeze, my face going bright red as I realize exactly what he's saying. I clear my throat. I see. Do you? He's still holding my hand, and I pull him towards me, putting his fingers on the bare skin of my waist. I think I do. But you have to answer this. Are you attracted to me because you saw me dance, or are you coming onto me because I'm a newcomer in AX Club and clearly have no idea what I'm doing? Julian's eyes darken, and his hand slides around my waist to my lower back, fingers dipping dangerously close to the waistband of my pants. His voice is low, and I can just hear him over the noise of the club, the words humming in my ear and making my heart race. I'm attracted to you. Even if I hadn't seen you dance, I would have seen you from across the room. Even if you had been simply walking down the street, I would be drawn to you. And after seeing you dance like that, I have no doubt that you know exactly what you're doing. I swallow, suddenly aware of how close we're standing, that if I took a step closer I'd be pressed up against him. I fight that thought, even though it's the most appealing idea I've had in a long time. And you still haven't told me your name, he says in that same smooth tone. Libby. Libby Valentina, I say, swallowing again. Someone crashes into me from behind, and suddenly I'm flush against Julian's body. His arms come around me, holding me in place, shielding me from being knocked further. My entire body lights up like a firework, like going from 0 to 60. I'm suddenly wet. And it's not just me. Julian is hard. Harder than hard, and huge, and all of it is pressed up against me so I can tell exactly what's on his mind. It's on my mind now too. What is wrong with me? You don't even know this guy. It's just the fact that you're in AX club and everything is new and exciting. You're not actually this turned on. I pull away from him, even though my body doesn't want me to, and he lets me go. Do you still want that tour? Sure, I nod, because even if I'm not ready to jump into bed with him, I don't want to leave. I want to keep listening to him speak in that perfect silky voice, and I want to keep imagining what might happen if he keeps touching me. Julian pulls me away from the bar and toward the edge of the room where all of the X is happening, and I don't fight it as he takes my hand again, keeping our fingers entwined. There are raised platforms, brightly lit, with couches and chairs hidden in the shadows around them so that people can watch if they wish. The very first platform we come to has me blushing all over again. A woman is tied to a table, unable to move. Even though her mouth is full, I can hear her moaning. I didn't think that places like this really existed, I tell Julian. Why not? I shrug. I don't know, I just never imagined it. I would have thought someone as XE as you would look for a place like this. Me? I laugh. No, Julian makes a sound of consideration, pulling me along to the next stage, which is actually more central in the club, and features a giant, brightly lit glass box. You can see it from anywhere in the club. It's in the spotlight, and two people are inside having X. They're standing, her leg hitched over his hip as he pushes into her slowly, rhythmically. The exhibitionist box. Julian says in my ear. I can see that, and they're perfectly comfortable there, even though they're in the middle of a club. I realize that there hasn't been a hint of embarrassment or shame in any of the X I've looked at. Maybe that's why this place feels so natural. So comfortable. Dancing, clothed, is one thing, but I'm not sure that I'm brave enough to be wholly comfortable like that, out in the open where anyone can see you. Can I ask why you own a place like this? Why not just a normal nightclub? Julian chuckles, tugging me along to the next stage. Because there are so many normal nightclubs, and my partners and I wanted a place where everyone would feel safe to be themselves. Or someone else. or whatever they wanted to be. We wanted to have a place where we could be who we wanted without judgment. So we started Club Deep. Luckily for us, a lot of people seem to want a place like that too. We're standing now in front of a stage where a woman sits on a chair that looks like a throne, a man sitting at her feet. He's caressing her legs, occasionally leaning down to lick her toes, his face so rapturous that it feels wrong to be looking at him. I think you'll be interested in what's upstairs even more. Oh. One of the 3 staircases to the second level is near us, and we climb. As soon as we set foot onto the floor, my jaw drops. Windows open into huge rooms all decorated with different themes. The one immediately in front of us is a cold stone dungeon, and more than one person is bound in chains, and I hear the sound of a whip. Oh! My God! Julian pulls me along the balcony, and I see a patient having sex with a doctor. A room with a huge and gorgeous bed is a tangle of limbs and bodies, just the sounds coming from the room making my heart pound. It's like watching sex in real life, and I'm turned on. My skin is more sensitive than normal, feeling every callus on Julian's hand. The wetness between my legs has been growing, and now I can't even take a step without feeling it, knowing how crazy and amazing this is. I mean, I'm not sure it's something I would ever do, but it's still amazing. He stops in front of the orgy, pulling me to the empty window frame where we can watch. Julian is standing behind me, gently pressing me into the wall as I lean on the sill. "What do you think?" he asks, his lips suddenly at my neck. His fingers are on the skin of my waist, and I can't find words. I watch as a woman straddles a man. There's so much more, chains of people making fun, and my heart is racing. "It's so much," I manage to say. "Let me buy you that drink," he whispers in my ear. "And then I'd love it if you'd dance with me." There's no sign of Cassette yet, and I don't think she'll mind if I found someone to dance with. She's always encouraging me to go out and get laid. I blush a little at the fact that that's an actual possibility right now. Julian doesn't let go of me, keeping his arm wrapped around my waist as he guides me to the stairs. It's almost like he can read my mind. Like he knows that my answer would be nothing other than yes. Dancing with Julian is like nothing I've ever felt before. The moment he pulls me onto the dance floor, it's electric, our bodies moving together like they were made for each other. And just like when I was up on that stage dancing in front of the club, I'm having the time of my life. This whole night, it's been amazing. Things have been so stressful lately that it feels good to let go, and I honestly can't remember the last time I danced. Really danced. And now, with Julian, it's so freeing. There's a joy that bubbles up in me as we move, and that joy translates itself into my body, pushing the music through in new and different ways. He's not a bad dancer either, and as we move, I come more and more aware of his hands on me, the way his hips move with mine, and the fact that he makes no effort to hide his erection. He wants me to know that I'm turning him on, and I love that I am. It strikes me as he pulls me against him, grinding against my ass, that he could have anyone in this room. As the owner of the club, all he would have to do is nod his head and 3 women would be fawning over him, and yet he's still dancing with me. I spin out from him, looking around, and I see that I'm right. People are watching us, watching him, and watching me with him. But Julian doesn't look around, he only looks at me. Dangerous heat sears through me when I see the lust in his eyes. This would be so easy. But can I do it? Julian grabs my hips, pulling me back to him, pressing our bodies together. And just like that, he manages to make me lose myself. His hands roam down my ass, gripping me with enough strength to send butterflies through my stomach. Holding us together, he moves us in time with the music, the roll of his hips into mine making it more than clear what he's picturing. I feel like I've lost control of my body, my every move dictated by the way he's dancing with me, my movements just a response. The way he's touching me, I don't want him to stop. God, it's been a long time since anybody touched me, and no one has ever touched me like this, like he knows exactly what will drive me mad even before I do. He lifts my leg onto his hip, never stopping that rhythmic rolling of his hips, and suddenly we're in that same position as the couple from the glass box. He knows, he did it on purpose. The way he smirks at me, dipping my torso back again while our hips are connected so it looks like we're still only just dancing. I swear he knows exactly what he's doing to me. I want him. I've never wanted anyone like this. I'm not the party girl, I don't do this kind of thing. But I'm here, and when in Rome. And if I'm going to be that girl, I'm not going to let him have all the fun. I lower my leg, taking back control of the dance, moving around him, giving him brief touch of my body. I hook my arms around his neck, bringing his face close to mine, but at the last second I let go, avoiding a kiss. Julian isn't giving up either, whenever he can, running his hands across my skin, and I find myself smiling at him as we play our game. I tease him with almost kisses, even going as far as letting our lips touch before pulling away. Julian growls at me, and I laugh, because I feel powerful. Like I fit in my skin for the first time in forever. Like the fact that I have a man this hot desperately trying to pleasure me is something normal in my life. Julian wraps himself around me, as we move with the music. It makes me smile. I don't need my hands to make him moan. I spin in his arms, reaching up on my tiptoes to his face, and I move to make him think I'll kiss him, to back away before our lips meet. Julian's crystal eyes darken, the lights in the club making them almost glow, and he locks his arms around me. I can't back away. Not this time, he says just before his lips crash onto mine. It's a glorious, breathless kiss that makes the world flash white lights and my body tighten with pleasure, and then it's gone. We're off the dance floor before I can even recover from the fact that his mouth was on mine. He's pulling me up the stairs of the balcony and into a door that blends into the wall, and suddenly we're in an empty hallway, the music of the club a faint pulse on the other side of the door. Such a tease, he says, and then he's kissing me again, our bodies crashing into the wall because it's the only thing that will keep us standing. His kiss is consuming, sending shivers through my body, and it's like I've been waiting for this moment for forever. He pulls back an inch from my lips, just for a moment. Tell me to stop, he says, before kissing me again. I've undone the buttons on his shirt, and I run my hands down his chest, marveling at the way his skin feels on mine. I trace the definition in his muscles and let his warmth seep into me. Tell me to stop, he says again. Why? Julian drags his mouth away from mine, and we're both breathing like we've just run a race. If you tell me to stop, I'll let you go, and we'll forget all of this. We'll pretend it didn't happen. He reaches out, traces his mouth with his thumb, but if you don't tell me to stop, if you let me take you, everything is going to change. I know you feel it. And if you don't walk away, I'm going to bury myself so deep in you that you'll never forget. I'm going to make it so you'll never be the same. He's right. I do feel it. Like something big is building under my skin. I know that if I let it, I won't ever be the same. But is that really a bad thing? Even if it's just one night, I can't ever see regretting this. And so I reach out to him, wrapping my hand around the back of his neck and pulling his mouth to mine. Opening my mouth, I let his tongue dance with mine, and I groan. This is sheer possession. I'm going to let him take me, never mind the consequences. You're going to be begging for me to make you come. I'm going to protest, tell him that I'm not the kind of woman who begs for anything, but his mouth closes over me and the words disappear in my mouth. Nothing but a whimper comes out as his tongue grazes across the taut peak, sending streaks of molten pleasure into my body. Around and around, he strokes, I do what he told me to. I imagine that his head is between my legs. He grazes my skin with his teeth and I moan, my voice loud in the quiet hallway. He knows exactly what to do with his mouth to have me arching into him, breath coming in shuddery gasps. My fingers weave themselves into his hair, holding his mouth against my skin. God, I never want him to stop his touching, and that's so unlike me. I say, I don't ever do this. I watch the way his jaw moves as he works me, and the sight of that is so hot I nearly collapse. But I need him to know that this isn't a normal thing. I never do this. Do what? He says, releasing me and smirking. This, I say. With strangers. I don't go to clubs. When he looks up at me with that devastating smile, those blue eyes freeze me in place. Thank goodness you've come to your senses. And then his hands are on my thighs and his mouth is between my legs and oh God yes. Wave after wave of pleasure rising from his mouth because he doesn't stop. I close my eyes, blind to everything but this glorious sensation. My knees finally collapse, and he holds me up while his mouth is still tasting me. I smile, laughing a little, and he smiles too. Feel different? He asks. Yes. Because it's true. Tonight I did something daring that I wouldn't normally ever do. I danced at a club with a virtual stranger. I was confident and bold. I collect my clothes and start to put them on, still weak in the knees. And it feels strange, after what just happened, to be in the same space with him and be clothed. Like now that we've seen all of each other we no longer need them. But the rest of the world, even if that doesn't include the patrons of Club Deep, would be shocked to see me without my clothes. I have my pants on when Julian finally speaks again. Take the job. What? Here, at the club, he says. He's almost dressed again and his face is deadly serious. Be a dancer. I shake my head. I already have a job. Then quit. It's tempting. Given how much fun I had, and the fact that Julian will be here, but this wasn't my thing. This was Cassette's idea, and she didn't exactly sound enthused when I was offered the job. She's had so much trouble finding work, I can't just swoop in and also have a job she's worked hard for. I can't, I say, slipping my top back on. He grabs me around the waist, pulling me to his body. What will it take? What does it matter? I say. I don't have to work here for you to see me again, you know. I'm floating the idea of seeing him again to see if he takes it, and to see what his real motives are in wanting me to work for him. I won't say that I don't have at least some ulterior motives, Julianne grins. But you're talented. We've found that dancers really boost the atmosphere in the club. The better dancers we have, the more fun people have, and the more money they spend. I want you working in my club because I think you're a dancer, and I think it's a good business decision. I bite my lip, thinking about it. I already told Cassette I wouldn't take it. How can I now go back and tell her that because I'm taking the job? I can't. I shake my head again. I'm sorry. He's silent for a moment. 200,000. I'm sorry. Your salary. Here. My jaw drops open. Are you serious? That's insane. I'm willing to do it. If you take the job. You have that kind of money to throw at a dancer. He smirks. Do you want it? With that kind of money, I could pay off all of my student debt in a year. I could move into a better apartment. I could stop worrying about whether or not I'm going to overdraw my bank account. Okay. His smile is blazing, and I know that it's because he won. Perfect. And as for seeing you again, that's an absolute yes. He pulls his phone out of his pocket. Let me have your number. I do, though I'm being distracted by the way he's letting his fingers wander across my skin. The feelings he's arousing make me want more, make me want to drag him out of this club and back to my dumpy apartment where he can be mine for hours. I hand the phone back to him. Perfect. He leads me back into the club, the music suddenly loud and piercing compared to the intimate silence beyond those doors. Julian leans down and gives me a long lingering kiss. It reaches down and stirs something in my chest and something much hotter down below. I'll see you soon, he says, pulling away gently and heading downstairs. I lean against the wall, catching my breath. I feel like I've been through a whirlwind, and in a way I suppose that I have. I head down the stairs, and as soon as I reach the bottom, Cassette practically tackles me from behind. I've been looking all over for you. Where were you? Not with the boss. Just wandering, I say. Have you seen this place? It's insane. Cassette beams. It's amazing. I'm so excited, I start tomorrow. Yeah, I say, a flush burning across my cheeks. So do I. What? Her face falls, and then looks confused. Anxiety swirls in my gut. I want her to be okay with it, I want her to be happy with this. I shrug, trying to play it off like no big deal. I changed my mind. After seeing how great everything was, and having so much fun dancing with you, I didn't want to miss out. I have to come in early tomorrow to do my paperwork. Or at least I hope I do. I didn't exactly talk over those kinds of details with Julian. That's great, Cassette says with a smile that's overly bright. It'll be really fun to work together to dance together again. I hope so, I say softly. I really do. I think that this could really be good for both of us. Do you want to hang out here or are you ready to leave? She gestures towards the door. I'm ready to go. You lead the way. The drive home to our apartment is a little tense, but I think we'll be okay. I hope we'll be okay. Once Cassette sees how fun it will be to work together, I'm sure she'll be fine. That's what I tell myself at least. It's just as I'm getting into bed that my phone chimes with a text from an unknown number. I open it, and my heart starts to pound. Thinking of you. Sleep tight. Jay, never in my life have I felt like a text message had the power to undo me until now. This does. Right, like I'm going to be able to sleep now that I know he's thinking about me, possibly touching himself while thinking about what happened earlier. God, this is crazy. I start to type a response, and delete it. Again. And again. Nothing seems right. I don't know what I can say that doesn't sound dumb or childish. After a good 15 minutes, I give up. I'm sure I'll see him tomorrow at the club, and I've always been better with my words in person. I shut off the light defiantly. I'm going to sleep. But as soon as my head hits the pillow, I know that it's going to be a long night with those words echoing in my head. Thinking of you. Sleep tight. The club deep parking lot is practically empty when I pull in. It's well before opening, so it's not surprising, but still, without the cars, this building looks more like an abandoned office building than a popular club. But I suppose that's at least partially the point. I've come early to fill out my paperwork, and I hope I finish it before Cassette arrives. After the awkwardness last night, I don't know how to tell her about the absolutely ridiculous salary that I'm going to get. I think that news has to come later, with a lot of tequila shots between us. Or maybe I won't tell her at all. I can't really see how her knowing that I'm making more than 4 times her salary is going to help anything. She's already hesitant about both of us working here, and I want her to be happy. Early in the morning, the club is almost unrecognizable. With normal fluorescent lights instead of the roving colors, this looks like an industrial loft space. Funny, you never think about the way a nightclub looks in the daytime. Probably part of the charm. They're places that can really only exist at night, when you can be in the shadows and your better judgment takes a vacation. Time will tell if my better judgment was present last night or not. One thing's for sure, my boss at the restaurant wasn't happy to find out I was quitting, and I wasn't sticking around for 2 weeks' notice either. Yet, I don't think I'll be eating there anytime soon. Hello. I call across the club because I don't see anyone, and I have no idea where Randall swept Cassette off to last night for all the employment stuff. A man appears from behind one of the bars carrying a box full of glassware. Seeing me, he gives me a once-over, and I'm not sure what conclusion he comes to. You need something. First day as a dancer, I say, explaining. I need to fill out paperwork. He points behind the bar. Double doors back there, second office on the right. Thanks. Pushing through the double doors, I find a hallway not unlike the one I spent some time in last night, even if this one seems more worn. The fluorescent lights sputter a little, and paint is peeling in places. The second door on the right is open, and I knock on the frame as I look inside. Hello. Randall looks up from the desk and gives me a sarcastic smile. Oh, it's you. Mr. Rivers told me that you'd changed your mind. Yet, the disdain is practically rippling off him. Sit down. I do, and he gives me a clipboard full of papers. Basic employment stuff. W-2, direct deposit, employee questionnaire guidelines. Let me know when you're done. He goes back to typing on his computer. I don't like Randall. I mean, I'm sure he's got some kind of redeeming quality to be employed here, but I don't like the vibe he gives off. Thankfully, I've done this kind of paperwork so many times over the past few years that it doesn't take me long, and it's only a few minutes before I hand the clipboard last night. Good. He gives me another look down his nose. I heard that you got a tour of the place last night, so we'll skip that. Follow me and I'll show you the costume room. He leads me out of the room, further down the hallway and through another set of double doors. I fight to keep my jaw from falling to the floor. This room is huge, with double high racks of clothing filling the space. I spot a little bit of everything, from tiny sparkly bikinis to a corset with some LEDs attached. Most of these are for theme nights, and we'll let you know when you need to choose one. Those you don't get to keep. He leads me to a corner of the room with more traditional-looking club wear. This is the normal dance wear. Choose 3 outfits, you'll get to switch them out in a few weeks. You'll learn the schedule. When you're done, head to the dressing room. I'll give you and the other new dancers a quick orientation before opening. He disappears through the racks of clothes, and I can't help being a little bit relieved. I look around, taking in the racks of clothes. This is insane. And amazing. The more I find out about this place, the more those 2 words seem to go together to describe it. I start to flip through the clothes and there's anything you could ever want, really. I know my first choice the moment I see it, a royal blue 1960s mini dress that's covered in sequins. With the lights in the club, that dress is going to look like a disco ball, and I'm thinking yes. And the thought of Julian seeing me in that dress, all legs and glitter is a bonus. I can't keep the grin off my face. No job should be this fun. I pick some neon orange high-waisted leggings, and my third is a bodysuit with crystals in interesting patterns. There's a rack of high-heeled shoes, and I pick some pairs in my size that look good but hopefully also won't make my feet bleed. Randall told me to go to the dressing room. We skipped that part of the tour last night, but I'm not going to go ask him. But it turns out that it's not that hard to find, the door is behind the main bar. When I enter, there's already a bunch of people milling around and getting ready. One of them is Cassette. Libby. She jumps off the bench and tackles me in a hug, all signs of yesterday's awkwardness gone. In fact, she seems like she's bouncing off the walls. I struggle to not drop anything. I'm so excited, are you excited? I laugh. Yes. Only a really good job lets you go shopping before you actually have to work. I know, right? Cassette laughs too, a little too loud and hard. I saw your locker, it's over here. She points me down the row, and I see a locker that has a piece of paper attached to it with my name. I pull the paper off and turn it over. On the other side is the lock combination along with a note in neat handwriting. I can't wait to see you dance again. There's no signature, but there doesn't have to be. I know exactly who wrote it. I put my clothes inside the locker and change into the blue mini dress while Cassette sits down on the bench by me to do her makeup. She's fidgeting and jumpy while she does her makeup and she hasn't stopped talking since we came over to the locker, filling me in on our colleagues. Everyone is super nice. Those girls over there, they go into the orgy room and fool around with each other to make people more comfortable to start having sex. The girls over there in the black pants and bras are the waitresses. She's a DJ. Cassette gestures to a gorgeous tall woman who's putting on some neon eye makeup. I sit down next to her, strapping on mile-high back heels and pulling out my makeup bag. This is all going to take some getting used to. You can say that again. Working at night's going to be so different. But, Libby, she says, we have jobs dancing. Dancing. A grin spreads across my face. It's amazing. Cassette draws liner across her lid in a dramatic cat eye. She's dressed in a black catsuit with a plunging neckline. She takes in my outfit. What look are you going for tonight? I start to dab some orange color across my eyelids. Mod disco. She laughs. Sounds perfect. Again, her laugh is loud. She looks at me, and I startle, because her pupils are huge. Dread sinks in my stomach. I grab her hand before she can do her other eye. Cassette, I whisper, are you high? As a kite, baby. Nothing feels like this. They have really good here. My mouth drops open a little, I don't understand. It's been a long time since Cassette has done any drugs, but it's never a good sign. Whenever she gets high is a time I have to worry, because high Cassette doesn't make smart choices. And I can't lose her. I don't think I'd survive it if something happened to her. Plus, it's our first day? Why today? She rolls her eyes. Lighten up, Libby. She elongates my name, drawing it out. I'm just having a little fun. That's what this job is, right? Fun. Cassette, you're too much of a goody two-shoes, Lib. You need to relax. I'm just concerned. Yeah, well, don't be. I can take care of myself. She snatches her makeup kit off the bench and goes back to her own locker. Did something happen? I always find out later why Cassette gets high or drunk and wish I could have seen it coming. This is the same. I have no idea what set her off, and I honestly don't have time to worry about it, but I know that I will all night. Hopefully later, when she's sober, I can ask her again. My makeup is almost done when Randall strides into the dressing room. I do a double take. Is he supposed to just come in here like that? When people could be getting dressed? I glance around, and I see that everyone is decent. But still, it seems weird. New dancers, with me. I shove my makeup bag in my locker and close it quickly before following him, Cassette, and two other girls out into the club. The fluorescent lights are gone and replaced with the dramatic, flashing colors from the night before. The club is still pretty empty, but there are a few guests arriving. No one is dancing yet, even though the DJ has already taken her place and the music has started to pound. Randall stops by one of the cages that's on the floor by the edge of the dance floor. Okay, so the main thing I need to tell you guys about is our tipping system. He points to a screen that's attached to the top of the cage, easily visible. It says the number of the cage. We've got an app, and if somebody likes what you're doing in the cage, they can tip you. Anything above $50, your cage gets spotlights, and the bars glow. I'm sure you'll see soon enough. Rack up enough tips, and you'll get confetti from the ceiling. Don't hold your breath on that though, it takes a lot to get there, and even with our high rollers, it rarely happens. Any questions? I don't have any, it seems pretty straightforward. Good. You'll have a break halfway through your shift. I'll send a waitress to tell you when. He points to one of the other new girls. In you go. He helps her into the cage. The other stranger goes into another cage on the floor. Some of the cages are already taken with girls dancing. It makes sense. You need the mood to be in place when the customers come in. But for Cassette and me, he doesn't give us a cage on the floor. Instead he walks us to the middle of the dance floor where several cages hang just above the heads of the crowd. If someone jumped, they might be able to touch the bottom. A couple of them are already taken, but Randall has a remote in his hand, and two of them lower to the floor. He gives a mocking bow to us. Your chariots, girls. I look at Cassette and grin, pretending that I've forgotten our exchange in the locker room. Ready to make some money. You know it. She gives me a high five before climbing into her cage. Our screens are at the bottom of the cage. I can see Cassette's, and she can see mine, and I notice there's a tiny screen inside the cage that lets us know how much the current tip is, plus our total. My stomach lurches a little as the cage is lifted off the floor. I've never danced in anything suspended like this. It's going to take me some time to get used to the way it swings with my movements, to trust that it's not going to fall and that I'll be able to dance without being afraid. I look over and I see the same look on my friend's face, nervous anticipation. The cages lock into place, and for a second, I stand there. I'm really doing this. I'm dancing in a cage. At AX Club. What am I doing? Randall's voice floats up from below. Well? Get going. We're paying you to dance, not to stand still. Sharing a look with Cassette, I shrug. It's way too late for me to turn back now. So, closing my eyes, I start to dance. I am so happy I took this job. My feet hurt, and I'm sweating like a pig, but I don't think I've ever been happier. The dress I'm wearing does exactly what I hoped it would with the lights, and I know it's getting people's attention. Cassette's cage is close enough that we can see each other and use each other for inspiration. It's been a few hours, and the club is packed. Maybe an hour ago I got my first big tip, my cage lighting up like a firework, and some of the club's lights spinning to focus on me. It was only a minute or so, but that minute when every eye was on me, it was the biggest adrenaline boost in the world. Cassette and I have both been tipped since then. Each spotlight session has us upping our game, trying to outdance the other, and the crowd loves it. We both have the biggest smiles on our faces, and I think that the people watching can tell that we're having a good time. Even though I know she's high, she seems okay right now, like the dancing is settling her. It lets me relax. The song changes from a frenzied speed to a slower electric song, and I like the way it makes me dance. Suddenly my moves are smoother, slower, more deliberate. White light hits my cage as the spots turn on me, and I launch into a solo, grabbing the cage and using the cage to spin it with me. I dip myself backwards, and forwards again, rolling my body in time with the music. And just as suddenly the lights turn off and there's blue eyes instead. Julian is standing on the balcony of the second floor, watching me with a smile on his face. That smile both warms me up and makes me shiver. My dancing changes again, because it's not for the crowd anymore, it's for him. I hold onto the top of the cage, swinging my hips and letting my short dress ride even further up my legs. He's leaning against the railing, and I see one of his hands wander down as he watches me. I can't quite tell because of the shadows, but it looks like he's stroking himself through his pants. Heat, fierce and real, bursts through me. I love that I can make a man like Julian touch himself in public with my body, and suddenly I want to do it more. I use the cage like I've been hesitant to do up until now, hanging from the bars, and twirling, pushing my eyes against the cage where he can see it. I let the straps of my dress fall off my shoulder and I pull up my dress and give him a glimpse of my panties. The lights flash on my cage and I grin, dropping it low and bringing it back up again. The lights on the cage change a tip on top of a tip. Now the lights are deep blue, matching my dress, and I feel like a star glimmering in my cage, ironically feeling totally free. I look at Julian and see him watching me with that same hunger that I saw when he was watching me at the audition. Only now that I know what that hunger leads to, I want more of it. I lose track of my movements, only dancing for him. The lights change again to bright green, the spots still focused on me, and I grab the bars of the cage facing Julian, pulling up my dress so I'm exposed and thrusting against the bars of the cage. I don't want there to be any question about what I want. His mouth tips up into a smirk, and then he looks away, pulling his cell phone out of his pocket. I hope he doesn't take a picture of me like this, because the last thing I need is my mother seeing me humping a cage in a mini dress on Facebook. But a moment later he puts his phone away and grins, holding his finger up like he's telling me to wait. Just then, the music soars, club plunging into darkness as backlights flash on, neon graffiti pouring from the ceiling as the crowd roars. The only regular lights in the club are on me, and I have no choice but to dance, so I do. I give the crowd what they want, the show they've been waiting for, and I've never felt so powerful. The regular club lights return and I look at my screen. That tip was for $1,000. Seriously? What? My jaw drops, and I look at the balcony, at Julian because it had to be him, but he's gone. I look over at Cassette, to smile at her, and to share in the awesomeness. But she's stock still in her cage, staring at me with what can only be horror. I thought she'd be happy for me, but she doesn't look it. I notice I've stopped dancing and start to move again, only to hear a little ping coming from my screen. Come to my office on your break. Jay, almost like he planned it, my cage starts to lower. People cheer as I come out of it, and my replacement climbs into the cage, lifted back into the air. I turn to the waitress who made the switch and ask her where Julian's office is, and she gives me directions. His office is on the 3rd floor of the building. Just like last night, the hallways I walk through to get to Julian's office are quiet. I can hear the club music faintly pulsing through the walls, but it's an afterthought. This behind-the-scenes area seems a lot nicer than the others I've seen. Almost plush. And when I find Julian's office, it's the same. Clean white walls and a thick, soft, white carpet give the space a bright feeling even though it's the middle of the night. There's a big window with a nice view of Phoenix, and the night is one of those perfect southwestern nights. All the stars are clear on the deep blue sky. Julian stands looking out the window, his back to me. I'm still a little out of breath from all my dancing, and I'm suddenly self-conscious about how I look, sweaty from dancing, dress practically falling off. "Hi," I say. Julian turns to me, that same feral hunger on his face. "Thank you for that tip. That was amazing, even though you didn't have to do that." He steps towards me, coming around the desk, still not saying anything. "I'm really happy I took the job," I say, trying to fill the silence. "I'm having a good time." Julian loosens the tie that he's wearing and tosses it to the floor, then he rolls his sleeves up one at a time. Anxious anticipation flutters in my stomach as I watch him. He never takes his eyes off me, and when he's finished with his sleeves, he starts to undo his belt. He nods towards the desk. "Bend over it." Nothing but command is in his voice, and just like that, I'm wet. Standing there in a button-down and slacks, staring at me with that power. I know that I can walk away, but I don't want to. Because this is so hot, and Julian is so hot that I want it all. I want to bend over that desk and let him pleasure me as hard as he wants. I keep my eyes on him as I walk to the desk, and lean over it. I don't have to wait for him. He kisses my neck, and I feel his tongue as he licks me, tasting the salt on my skin. "Did you think about this while you were dancing?" he asks. "Did you imagine that I was touching you while you were touching yourself in front of everyone?" "Yes." My voice doesn't shake. "I've never been so sure of anything." Julian chuckles in my ear. "I think you might be an exhibitionist. I saw the way you liked being watched, how you kept getting more turned on." Everything in my body tightens at his words. "It's not true, it can't be true." "No," I say. "It was you. I was dancing for you. Thinking about you. Wanting you to see me." His hand's still on my body, and I think that I've said something wrong. But Julian groans, his voice suddenly hot at my ear. "Do you have any idea how hot that is?" He doesn't wait, he touches every part of me and it feels too good. Julian's hands stroke across my skin, digging me. "I love the way this looks," he says. "You taking all of me?" "Yes. Watching you dance turns me on, makes me so hard I can't do anything but pleasure you. I've lost the ability to speak, the blend of feeling, pain, and pleasure fizzing in my brain." "But," he says, punctuating the word, "I want you all to myself too. I want to keep you here so no one can see you but me. So you're all mine. And I don't know which one I want more." My arousal soars at the possession in his words, and I shove my hips back instinctively, trying to take more of him. "Guess you'll just have to keep doing both," I say, breathless. His chuckle is dark. "I guess so." Julian grabs my hands, pulling them behind my back and crossing my wrists so he can hold them both at once. I feel a rush of wetness at the ease of it all, how quickly he takes control. I'm due back to the dance floor any minute. Julian comes over to me, framing my face with his hands. "I like you, Libby Valentina. I like you too, Julian Rivers. He smiles, this one brilliant and boyish. That's good to hear. And if you'd like, I want to take you out. Somewhere that's not the club. Really? I gasp in mock horror, but then where will you pleasure me into oblivion? His eyes darken, and I risk a glance downwards to see him hardening again, and I smirk. The club is always available for that. Good to know. So when are we going on this date? Soon, he grins at me. I roll my eyes. Soon? That's all I get. Julian leans down and kisses me, lips soft and sweet, quickly turning hungry. He pulls away like it's the last thing in the world he wants to do. That's all you get, little dancer. Fine. I suppose I should go back to work now. He smirks. I suppose so. I head to the door, noticing for the first time that I left it open, and any one of the club employees who has access to this hallway could have heard us, seen us. The thought doesn't make me as upset as I thought it would. Who knows, maybe Julian is right. Maybe I am a little bit of an exhibitionist. I look back only once, gratified to see him staring after me. I run into Cassette as I come out of the elevator, rushing towards the back doors of the club where I've noticed people take their breaks. She has a pack of cigarettes in her hand. She seems less jumpy. Maybe she's come down from the high. But smoking is another one of her warning signs. Hey, Cass, I say, stepping in front of her. You okay? Yeah, I'm fine, she says, but she doesn't look at me. What's going on? I thought you quit smoking. I thought you quit getting high. She taps the pack against her hip. I did, I just do it when I'm anxious. Anxious? Why are you anxious? Did something happen? She laughs, but it's the kind of laugh where nothing is really funny. It's nothing, I promise. I've got to go. Not much time left on my break. She pushes past me before I can ask her anything else. Something is clearly bothering her, but she's not going to let me ask what. At least not here. Again, I hope that when we're at home and things are calmer she'll talk to me. Back on the dance floor, I get back into the cage, lifted back into the air for my second stint as a star. Join our Facebook and WhatsApp group for more updates, link is given in description. Rest audiobook will be continued in next episode.